The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 3rd day of December, 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Walls Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. Happy Tuesday. I see, yesterday I saw a tweet, right? And basically the RG was saying that they're going to, as of December 3rd, which is today, they were going digital. And, you know, I see people kind of up in arms on Twitter, basically saying they can't get around the homepage. And of course, Maya and I just, Maya said, you click on the outside, you can get around it. So folks, don't fear. If you go to the Royal Gazette and it tells you to sign in, just click on the side. You can still get it. But of course, if you want to go to the old stories like before, you might have to put in a little password or something, unless you have to get around it. But interesting times. We'll probably talk about that in upcoming episodes. But the Royal Gazette is evolving, like most companies, organizations, and mediums. They are evolving. So reach out to them. Let them know how you like. The website looks very different. It's a lot more going on the homepage of the website. I'm not one to kick things down when I first see them, but it's much busier. But it looks like it's easier to find things. Yeah, it definitely looks easier to find things on the Royal Gazette website. But anyway, we're not here to really talk about the Gazette. I just know some of you go in there. But anyway, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome aspiring journalist and our colleague Simone Vaughn onto the show. She's going to be discussing her journey. The daily play is holiday trivia, more holiday trivia. Oh, this is easy. This is a very easy one, so I think you all have got this one. You're going to fight over the answer, who gets it first. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. We're going to be giving away another prize today. Yeah, another prize. We'll make it People's Pharmacy $50 gift card. Unfortunately, or fortunately for someone else, yesterday's winner did not send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com. Let me repeat. If you filled out the survey and provided your email address, you have a chance to win a prize. However, this is a daily talk show. The whole purpose is for you to tune in and engage. If you're not tuned in, if you don't tune in, if you're not engaging, then you don't get a prize, right? So hopefully the name that we pull today, the person is available to collect the prize by emailing engage@thedailyhour.com within 24 hours. That means prior to the start of the next show, the next day. All right. So Sugar Pool Ent, our apologies, but you lost out on a $50 gift voucher to Nail Bar. All righty. Hey, I don't know if I said this already, but help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Now, let's jump into today's conversation. I don't know if you all heard, but a lot of people have been leaving Bermuda. Yeah, a lot of people have been leaving Bermuda. So Royal Gazette headline actually says, government to drill down on drivers of immigration, right? Now, the story goes on to say the findings of a confidential survey on immigration using a locally based market research firm are to guide government policy on retaining as many Bermudians as we possibly can. That's what MPs heard in the House of Assembly. Jason Hayward, the economy and labor minister, emphasized that the ministry would not hold any personal information on those responding to the questionnaire. The study is understood to involve global research consisting of 49 questions on why Bermudians emigrated and the changes needed to encourage them to return. Mr. Hayward was responding to parliamentary questions on Friday from Jerry Richardson, the leader of the opposition. The minister said people who had emigrated would be polled on the push and pull factors for leaving, as well as 400 different households on the island to explore the reasons residents might be contemplating moving overseas. So with that said, the question of the morning is, what are your thoughts on government carrying out a survey on immigration? What are your thoughts on government carrying out a survey on immigration in Bermuda? What are your thoughts on that? But also, do you believe the government is doing enough to help retain Bermudians? Like, do you believe the government of Bermuda is doing enough to help retain Bermudians, like keep Bermudians in Bermuda? What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I can speak for two people on this show today that are not based in Bermuda. Well, we're not based in Bermuda. I mean, we have probably very different reasons as to why we're not based in Bermuda, but we still remain connected to Bermuda through the work that we do daily. I don't know the answers. I think every situation is different. I can't speak for other people. I've heard stories. I've heard people tell me their own reasons. I know some people who left because of violence in their neighborhoods. I know people who left for better opportunities for their children. They didn't see the same opportunities. I think we forget that it's not always political. Some people felt like when Bermudians were able to, got UK passports in the mid 2000s and and moved to the UK, people felt like it opened up opportunities for their children that they wouldn't have had in Bermuda. There are some people who leave because of the economics, right? The economy they feel isn't beneficial for them. There's so many different reasons, and it's hard to pin down one. But I guess the question is, with all that said, with people who are leaving for different reasons, do you believe the government is doing enough to help retain Bermudians? Yes or no? Do you believe that enough is being done to help retain Bermudians? Like, is there, I don't know what the government, I mean, and I'm not making excuses for them, but I don't know what people would want to see them doing differently. But are they doing enough? Are they doing enough to help retain Bermudians? And then again, what are your thoughts on the government carrying out a survey on immigration? Like Jason Hayward has said that a local market research firm will be carrying out a survey to speak to as many Bermudians to see why they moved, and then also a survey of about 400 households to ask, why would they be contemplating leaving the island? Nicole Hassel says, useless. If the government is not trying to help them return, then this survey is for what? Politics. I think it's Charles H. Jeffers II who's always asking in the audience, how many Bermudians have left Bermuda, and do we have actual numbers? I quite a few people, but I know he comes to mind of someone who's always asking that question. And I think it's a relevant question. I think doing this survey will help gather data that people have been asking for ages. So I think it could help gather data. Now, what the government does with that data, at the end of the day, Bermuda needs people, right? And while some will say, well, we need certain type of people, I would think this current government, the PLP, who literally has gotten into political power because of a certain group of Bermudian people, would want to get a certain group of Bermudian people back. How do they do that is the challenge, right? Again, what are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on the government carrying out a survey on immigration? And do you believe the government is doing enough to retain Bermudians, to help retain Bermudians? Because also says, as long as the crime continues and the cost of living is high, people will continue to leave. And Nicole, I believe both of those reasons are very high. They're very high. Amari Simon says they have a brand new border management system. Can they run an immigration report? Um, you would think it would be that easy, right? But Amari, it's I'm trying to be diplomatic, respectful. It's hard. Let's continue. Shika Rana says surveys are expensive. I hope it is including questions where the answers are actionable in some way. Well, that goes back to what I was going to say about Amari. I'm glad you said it. Amari, I would hope as a taxpaying citizen that they would be able to run one, but you never know who is getting paid from what. I hope that's not too shady. And you get what I'm saying? Because surveys are expensive. But I to the back end of Shika's comment is it just going to be a survey that's going to sit on a desk and collect dust, or is it going to have some actionable things? Like if Bermudians are leaving for the because of the high cost of living, what are you going to do to address that to bring them back? If you know that Bermudians are leaving because of, as Nicole Hassel said, crime, what are you doing, or what can you show that's been done to improve that, to make Bermuda safer for everyone, so that people feel safe living in Bermuda? So I think that these are very, these are things that should be considered. Audience, what are your thoughts? Jason Hayward, the minister of, he's the minister of a lot. The minister of, what is he minister of? Economy and something. He's the minister of economy and labor. He spoke that global research will be conducting a survey consisting of 49 questions on why Bermudians emigrated and the changes needed to encourage them to return. So what are your thoughts on this survey being done? Do you think that this survey is necessary? Should we have done something like, should we have been collecting data all these years? We know that this has been happening for years. And I want people to understand something. I have these conversations often with people, especially business owners in Bermuda. And I think when we speak about this, we have to broaden our mindset. Not everyone who leaves Bermuda is just going to the UK. There are a lot of Bermudians outside of the UK. There are Bermudians moving throughout the continent of Africa. There are Bermudians who are living throughout Canada, throughout the United States, some down in Central South America. There are a lot of Bermudians who are leaving for different opportunities. I know Central America offers great opportunities economically for many Bermudians. So I think we need to keep a very open mind when we're discussing this, to ensure that we're not thinking or commenting with bias. Because I think when we think UK only, I think there's a certain bias in our tone. But again, what are your thoughts on government carrying out a survey on immigration? Manuela John, she says, I really wonder if government has any data on the subject. I inquired about reporting a Bermudian who died while living abroad. The information was not required. Really? Interesting. Very interesting. Sean Smith says, as a Bermudian who lives overseas, I believe the survey would be useful if shared publicly. Goes on to say, how do they plan on reaching out to us living overseas? That's a good question. Like, how, if they don't know who lives overseas, how do they do a survey with people overseas, right? Valid point. Suzanne Ingham, I'll read it from the site. She says, no, I don't think they're doing enough to retain Bermudians. If they were, why are they leaving so quickly? The cost of living is way too high. How do they expect us to live with these costs? Where do they expect us to go? This is our home. Help us first. I had a government survey last night. Some questions were personal, and no, I didn't answer them all. They are not doing enough to keep Bermudians here. Charles H. Jeffers II, he says, I say it's about time we stopped ignoring the reality that Bermudians have or are leaving. We have no idea who is left, where they are, what they are doing. And this is sad, man. This is sad. And you wonder why. I think for me, I always wonder why? Is it politically expedient? Like why don't we know? Why hasn't this information been retrieved? Why now? It's easy to say, well, no, there's an election coming up soon. So let's put it out there like we care. Now, there are others who will say, well, hey, better late than never, right? I agree. It's about time. WKD Lama says, I don't think a survey is useful. We know what the main reasons are. Can the government even make policies that encourage us to stay? Do we know what the main reasons are? It's easy to say crime, cost of living, opportunities for children, but do we? Okay, this audience knows that myself and Maya live outside of Bermuda. Do you know the reasons we live outside of Bermuda? I don't know the reason Maya lives outside. I don't. Never asked. It's none of my business. But my point is, do we know why everyone's leaving? Do we know the reasons? I'm not quite sure. I think we speculate, but I'm not quite sure we know the actual reasons why each person is leaving. Maybe the majority leave because of the high cost of living or crime. But I'm not quite sure. And that's why I think a survey could be useful. I think people might be more honest with an anonymous survey. Rosalind Famous says, I think we need a census. Have not had one since 2016, she says. Okay. Tell me something. Is census supposed to be done every 10 years or? I thought they were done every 10 years. I could be wrong, audience. Help me. Charles H. Jeffs II, he says, we need to focus on the next generation of Bermudians by making it easier for those who have children to register them as Bermudians with the hope that they will one day make Bermuda their home. Yeah, that should be easy. It'd be very easy. But I know that process all too well. It's not easy. Charles H. Jeffs II, he says 49 questions is way too many, in my opinion. I agree. The longer a survey, the less interested most people may become. We just had the most questions. We'd never do it again that we've ever had on our survey for the Daily Hour. Way too many questions, we know, and that's a lesson learned. But surveys are not supposed to bore people. As much as you want to collect information, the worst part about doing surveys is feeling like they're never ending. So hopefully they can find a quicker way to do it. John Tucker says census is every 4 years. The 2020 census was never released due to COVID. Okay, thank you. But prior to 2016, I thought it was 2010. No? Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was 2010. All right, audience, tell us again, what are your thoughts on the government carrying out a survey on immigration? What are your thoughts on the government carrying out a survey on immigration? Let us know. If you've just tuned in, the Minister of Economy and Labor, Jason Haywood, basically said that Global Research will be conducting a survey on why Bermudians have emigrated and the changes needed to encourage them to return. So this came on the back of questions from the opposition leader, Jerrion Richardson. So it looks like the government is looking to, kind of learn of people's decisions of why they chose to leave Bermuda and, embark on a life elsewhere. Nicole Hassel says, do a survey, then what? This government is not interested in them leaving, only interested in the rich coming. Well, it's interesting because someone sent me some data last night of the statistics of, what non-Bermudians, Bermudians, Black Bermudians, white Bermudians earn. And my only response to the person I finally responded this morning, I said, well, this is happening under a PLP government. Unfortunately, this is what happens when you vote for what they say the lesser of two evils, right? You voted for what you thought was the less evil than the other, and this is what you got. It's unfortunate, but that's just the reality that we face when that's how we vote. That's our mindset. Suzanne Ingham says, I know of several families that have had to move due to cost of living. A few of them have been seniors. Others have been families with children. That's so unfortunate. So unfortunate. That I think the language there, have had to move. That right there is very concerning. And my hope is that those stories are few and far between. It's really hopeful that there's a few and far between. Again, audience, what are your thoughts on government carrying out a survey on immigration? Do you agree with the survey? Yes or no? Do you agree with this survey taking place? Yes or no? Do you agree with the immigration survey? Yes or no? What are your thoughts? Yes or no? Before we go to the Daily Hour news break, do you agree with this survey being done? Yes or no? And again, as Sheikha Rana said earlier, surveys can be quite expensive. They can be quite expensive. We don't know the cost. And I mean, you can write a petty request and ask how much is being spent on this. But at the same time, we don't have any data. I know Amari Simon said earlier, we have a new machine. We can be collecting data like that, but maybe somebody knows somebody and somebody needs to get paid. I don't know. Do you think this is worth it? Nicole Hassel says no. Charles H. Jefferson II, he says the survey should focus on creating a registry and engaging Bermudians first. You have to build trust before getting into the why people have left. And Rosalind Famous said the survey is a step in the right direction. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to announce another winner today. $50 voucher to People's Today. $50 voucher to People's Today. So you want to stay tuned. Also, got the daily place. If someone will join whoever the person was yesterday. Who was it yesterday? Karen Simmons. Join Karen Simmons in this week's lucky draw. So do not go anywhere. Whoever Sugar Pool Ent, your email is, apologies, you didn't collect your $50 to nail bar, so that goes back into the draw, and we will hopefully have another opportunity for you going forward. But folks, please make sure you're tuned in because we want to see you in. Let's get Maya Palacio in for Daily Hour News Break, and we've got Simone Vaughn coming up. Going to be talking about her journalism journey. Stick with us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, MP. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well this morning. Enjoying the conversation. Feel like it's always an ongoing one, but a necessary one.
Absolutely ongoing. And it comes up I wouldn't even say every couple of years or every year, but every few months it comes up. But I think, I don't think I've ever heard the government take this approach to it,
That's right. I remember actually, because what is it, December? So 2 months ago, it was October, early October, there was an email that was going out, a global company, something in Bermuda. Actually, I had it because I wanted to search it while you were talking, because it was sent to me a couple of times. Yeah, the Global Research and Strategy Group, they put out an email that basically said, "Dear research panel, we hope that you're doing well. We are currently recruiting for a very important project. We are looking to identify Bermudians who have chosen to move outside of Bermuda. The people who we select for the interview will be paid an incentive of $75. We appreciate if you could share this email with any of your friends or family members who have left Bermuda and have them contact Leslie at globalresearch.bm as soon as possible." So that was actually sent out in like early October. So there might be something coming to light from just that alone from this group. So that's something to, I guess, look forward to as well for anyone who did participate in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, I mean, well, real quickly before you do your news break, audience, I want to see how many people are outside of Bermuda. If you're outside of Bermuda, just put yes in the audience. Just put yes in the comments if you're outside of Bermuda. I'd love to see of our audience. We did our survey. Majority of the audience seems in Bermuda, but I'd like to see if why outside Bermuda. You don't have to tell us why. I just want to see how many of our audience are regularly living outside of Bermuda. So we've got Shikarena, yes. NTS, yes. Sean Smith, yes. MP, yes. JH, yes. WKD Lama, yes. Okay. Interesting.
That's quite interesting. I mean, I believe if I could share it, like I know our YouTube statistics are like, I know a lot of people in Canada and the UK and US, for those who tap into the show through our YouTube. And I know Jemai mentioned, yeah, it's like, you know why I'm going home. I left because of like growth opportunity. Like last week I was inside the Scotiabank Arena, like giving students a tour of like the whole arena with my partner who I do media literacy with. And like that's an amazing opportunity I just wouldn't have in Bermuda. I know a lot of people want to do media lit on the island now. And last time I was home, people were asking me about it, like teaching it to schools. And so it's nice to have the opportunity that I have here that I don't have at home currently.
Yeah, I mean, opportunity. I think a lot of people, are interested in opportunities, and I know people who have shared their personal stories with me of why they left. It's not my business to tell, but I just want us to have an open mind that it's not always, the political stuff like the cost of living. Yes, plays a role. It's not always the crime. It just could be lack of opportunities. One of the things that I tell any young person. After college, do not go back to Bermuda. I will tell them work. You get experience wherever you are. I've been privileged to do that. I know others who have been privileged. Whether it's Shiona Torini, Glenn Jones, like these are people who after college they got opportunities, and there are many more Bermudians in lower. When I say lower profile, not lower jobs, but not public facing jobs that didn't leave. They went to work right after, and the opportunities that they're getting, they would have never gotten in Bermuda, right? So can the government fix that? Probably not. Probably not. But to Charles Jeffers' point, those people may have children. Their children may grow up and they may have something to offer Bermuda. You know how hard it is to get them status in a Bermuda? So I don't know. It's a lot. I think this conversation is so in depth. But I will say, I echo Nicole Hassel with a wow.
It was a lot of people that said yes.
The question was, folks, if you live outside of Bermuda, put yes. Arthur C. Phillips, I thought you lived in Bermuda. You put yes. Do you live outside of Bermuda now? Something changed? No, another question. I know Maya shared something. That's the other thing. UK, US, and Canada. Maybe on a subsequent episode we'll ask, but I'd like to know which places you're at. Because I think that there are people in spaces. I know Sean Smith has shared before. He's in Lisbon, Portugal. Bermudians are in more than just the UK. And I think it's important to remember that.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's funny when we talk about this conversation, I think about my closest friends that I like grew up with in Bermuda. And yeah, most of them are not home and they did not live in Bermuda.
I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. You got a news break, don't you? We've got Simone coming up, folks. Don't go anywhere. Sorry.
All right, so good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour news break brought to you by the great people at People's Pharmacy. So this first story I want to start out with is just about the 2023 Throne Speech initiatives, the promises that were made and how they are being upheld and kept. So let's talk about that. The first thing we're going to mention is about Makerspace. So if you don't recall what Makerspaces is, it was a promise that was made in the 2023 Throne Speech by the Department of Culture under the guide of the Minister, the Honorable Owen Darrell. And for a refresh, here's what was posted about 9 months ago.
With the operation of Makerspaces for artists and creatives, which is a 2023 Throne Speech initiative. Makerspaces will provide a place where artists, musicians, actors, and creatives of all kinds can come together to work on projects, rehearse, and collaborate.
Okay, so if that refreshes your mind, Here's a little bit more. It was first announced, and there were talks about using like derelict or abandoned buildings on the island to develop makerspaces for the sole purpose that it was meant to be a well-utilized space to practice theater, have photo shoots, paint, collaborate, etc. There wasn't like a nailed down like purpose yet, but that was the whole point of it. Well, about like a couple weeks ago, I was looking for an update on the story, and according to the Department of Culture, Makerspaces is actually located at Cedar Ridge Academy right now. So to be more clear, here's what it says: located at Cedar Ridge Academy, the Department of Culture Makerspace offers dedicated areas for visual artists, musicians, dancers, and actors to practice and create free of charge. Equipped with tools like easels, musical instruments, and studio spaces, this facility is designed to remove financial barriers and provide a supportive environment for Bermudian talent. Now, Makerspaces also operates from 4 to 9 p.m. on weekdays and weekends, they also mentioned. So I went back and I did ask my audience, like, how do they feel about it being at that facility and if they used it? So 4% said yes, 54% said no, and the others said they might use it now. And I also asked different creators who I know on my page, like, will you ever contact it or ask for insight on Makerspaces? Because these are things that obviously we need to collaborate to make sure it's useful. And 19% said yes, 77% said no, 4% said they may have been asked, I can't recall. I did get 2 messages as well from those who remember going to a meeting earlier prior to. And the last I wanted to ask was, how long do you think it'll actually take to complete? 7% believe that it'll happen between 25, 26, 30% said more like 2028, and 63% said never, and that they don't think that it'll happen. It'll just be forgotten as a cause. So because it's located in the school, and it's currently going through like a different shift or a change, it's kind of looking like an after school program because it has to do between the hours of 4 and 9 p.m. as well. And in most recent update of it, actually, because I did request some answers maybe almost 2-ish, 3-ish weeks ago from the department, and I wasn't given like clarity on exactly when it actually started being in operation at Cedar Bridge Academy, as it's stated on the website. But they did post this video just yesterday. Okay. And closing up, that caption for that video just said, Makerspaces is a vital resource for Bermuda's artists, musicians, dancers, and performers. It's a free, dedicated space for creatives to practice and create. At Makerspaces, you have access to tools like easels, musical instruments, and studio space. Very soon, as you can tell, this is basically a reiteration and a copy paste from the website. And it closes by saying registration is opening soon. So keep an eye on this page for details. That was a caption. So again, these words, copy pasted from the website. Still don't know exactly when they had it in operation at CBA, but it seems that now they're putting out a soft launch of it being at CBA. And again, this is from the 2023 Doze Beach. We're moving into 2025 as well. And again, there's some like doubts on whether or not this will be completed and happening. They obviously said that once it's out, the project's going to have slowly like continue to talk about it and trying to grow it into what is needed for the Bermudian artists and creatives of the island.
I don't know. I think I echo what Nicole Hassel said. I actually like that they're still making progress on it. But I think the telling thing about the pull for me was the lack of faith people seem to have in government completing things. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm trying to be positive with this. And Sean Smith asks, why don't they use WorkSec? There's a lot of things up there already, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot of things up at WorkSec right now. The churches, the autism organization. There's so many things up there. I don't know the amount, but yeah, it is being used.
I mean, Cedar Bridge does have, I want to say it has a space, definitely for music, that's for sure. I mean, I went to the school, so I know it has a space for music, if that's like we're trying to go to. And it makes sense, I suppose, to start it out with something that already provides things, just to see if people actually will use the space in itself. But again, from 4 to 9 during the weekdays is basically a new operation time because it is a school. It'd be difficult to actually gauge like the use of it. But we'll see once they make that soft launch, how many people are actually gonna utilize it. Because right now, no one really knew that it was there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in other news, and we talked about this just a little bit the other day, I know we mentioned the statistics that came out from the Bermuda Drug Information Network. Well, there were actually more included on that. I mentioned that I did listen to the entire rollout that the minister was talking about when it came to these statistics. So these ones are actually to do with inmates up at the Westgate facility. I want to say a little bit of trigger warning, as he does mention sexual abuse, but here is what he had on his report.
12% of inmates upon intake reported using prescribed medication for mental or emotional issues within the last year. Reports of physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, and abandonment before the age of 18 were made by 20 inmates. Furthermore, drugs and alcohol were linked to 23.9% of both current and past offenses, and 14.5% of inmates indicated they experienced an intermediate to severe drug abuse problem.
Yeah. So staggering statistics there. And again, you could go through the entire list just to see where Bermuda is at with it. Some of the drugs that he actually mentioned in this report, like I didn't even know they were on island. So that's also something to like consider when you go through this report, the things that, you know, you may be mentioning or talking to within your groups or students or children, whatever, that these things are present and on island and to be aware of. Now, in more news as well, and you might remember that the Bermuda government brought down UNESCO to do kind of like a report on the place in St. George's, about the global historical site and its value in that. While the report did come back in, and according to the outcome, there's work to be done. So here's what the minister actually said.
UNESCO recommends 40 different items that the government should consider to bolster our World Heritage Site status. Currently, we are reviewing these recommendations on how to act on each of them. And of course, consultation will occur with various stakeholders outside the government who participate in the town's strategic direction, including those in business, heritage, and environmental spheres, amongst others.
Yeah, so 40 different things that they have recommended for St. George's. Even though the government has been working on things piece by piece, it still seems like a lot to get done.
Yeah. St. George's needs all the love it can get. And I don't say that as a bad thing. I mean, from locals, indeed. I think it's still, in my opinion, the most beautiful part of Bermuda. I just think it offers something different that I don't think we appreciate enough. So, yeah.
I echo that. Yeah, definitely. That's the first place I love to go whenever I get home. And closing out our news for this morning, this is definitely going out to all the students right now, but registration opened yesterday for the 2025 Youth Employment Programs. If you need this and it is valuable, go quickly register, apply. So all students between the age of 16 and 26 looking for some employment are encouraged to apply. The youth employment programs are perfect for young Bermudians looking to, again, gain hands-on experience, expand the professional network, and build leadership and decision-making skills. For full details, you can register online at dwd.bm/youth-employment-strategy, or you can also email youthemployment@gov.bm as well. And the deadline is the 16th of December. So opens quick, ends pretty quick as well. Make sure you get your name in there and apply for these programs.
Indeed. How's the weather looking?
Mix of sun and clouds today, and a chance of a few early showers as well. So it's going to be looking a lot gloomy out there. And like I mentioned the other day, we're going to head right into the 60s, and our high today is a 69.
Yeah, I've gotten this from quite a few people overnight last night. And instead of doing a days of the year, we're a day late. But December 2nd, 1977 was a historic day in Bermuda, for those who don't know. And if you have these kind of things, please send them through. We'll definitely do our best to read them, because I think Bermudian history is as important as anything we share. But I once said that I really do wish I lived during that time, because it was a time when people fought for things where they risked their lives and their livelihoods. Today we fight, we use social media, we like to sound loud and be noticed. I'm not down with that personally, but I love a fight where people actually are willing to lose or risk what they don't believe they have and what they do have for the benefit of generations to come. So for those who were around in the 70s, you may have very different experiences, but the foundation was laid for the Bermuda we live into today. And my only question to Bermudians today is, what is our fight or our cause that we're stepping up for, where we're going to give to those coming behind us what those who came before us gave to us? Think about it. What are we willing to lose? Maya, thank you so much for that.
Wait, you didn't say what happened.
Oh, sorry. The riots of 1977, that involved the unrest on the backs of the hangings of Larry Tackland and Erskine Bach-Barus. My apologies. You're right. Absolutely. This is why
When
you
you said the year, I was like, was it Larry Tackland? Yeah, and yeah.
My apologies. I said all that. Thanks so much.
Okay, audience, I got your back. Like, what is it?
For sure. Thank you for that. We'll see you soon. Have a wonderful day. All righty.
Bye.
All right, my philosophy, folks. If you've appreciated the conversation this morning, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We will thank you to everyone who sent me that as well. Some of you sent video as well. We're going to come back. We've got an aspiring journalist, an upcoming star, and our colleague Simone Vaughn coming up. You don't want to miss it. You've got any questions, make sure you send them through. We'll be back in about 3 minutes, 13 seconds. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses. Whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment, we provide 100% guarantee on approved loans. Simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
You won't miss out. Noah's Ark is open 7 days a week for the holiday season and with big savings. Whether it's everyday essentials like dog food or cat litter, or those items you've been eyeing all year like aquariums, our huge 8-page holiday flyer is out now, packed with incredible offerings until December 31st. And we're open every Sunday from 12 to 5 p.m. through to December 22nd. Visit noahsark.pm, view our sales flyer, and join our rewards program. Noah's Ark, your reliable pack care specialist, making your holidays even more special.
Live exceptionally with HSBC MasterCard Pay with Rewards. Transform your points into what you love and get closer to winning an unforgettable trip to Dubai or one of 3 luxury experiences in Bermuda. To start following these steps, download the Pay and Rewards app from the App Store or Google Play. Register your HSBC MasterCard credit card in the app. Set your preferences to use points automatically or for your next purchase. Use your HSBC MasterCard for every purchase and redeem your points into rewards. In addition, for every $300 spent with your HSBC MasterCard, earn a chance to win an incredible monthly experience. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Bermuda Trivia, the Black History Edition, is now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com or email contact@bermudatrivia.com to learn more.
All right, welcome back to the big show. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Without further ado, let's bring in a very special guest today. We've got Simone Vaughn. If you remember, when we first started this show, Maya was doing the press conferences that the government had during COVID. And we brought her on as a guest. So this is, kind of similar, bringing young journalists on. And Simone, you've listened to Maya's, the Daily Hour news break as of late. You've heard her voice. So we're going to introduce you to her and learn a bit about her journey. So let's give a warm TDH welcome to Simone Vaughn. All right. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Are you nervous?
Not really.
Oh, perfect.
Good nerves. I'll say that.
Good nerves. Okay. So talk real quickly. We had a conversation this morning about, and by the way, folks, just to introduce you, Simone is, in the background with us. She's been on with our team for since probably June or July. And she actually is the person who has been scheduling guests for the show. So everyone you see on the show, they kind of go through her. She's the boss that says yes or no. And if you see people and you don't like them, you can blame her. I'm joking. But that said, we were asking people about Bermudians, emigrating, not being, in Bermuda, leaving Bermuda. Tell us a bit about your background. What is you do? Because you spent the majority of your time outside of Bermuda, correct?
Yes. So I spent all of my schooling outside of the U.S. I went to Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama, graduated in communication media with a concentration in broadcast journalism, minored in art. I spent majority of my life outside of the U.S. My mother was very proactive, though. She got my status when I was very young. And I had the opportunity to come back, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring my talents, and to Bermuda, and that's exactly what I did. So it's ironic, the conversation that we're having today, because I'm one of the products of getting that status, and I see now how much harder it is for people to do that and be able to come back here and live. And still, when I came back, I still had to do a lot of work to make that process happen. So that's just a little bit about, where I came from and, how I'm doing now and, what I wanted to do and how I'm doing it now.
I love it. And it's interesting because I hope that what you just said inspires someone else who, has Bermudian parents or a parent and has not made it back to Bermuda. I hope it inspires them to, hey, that journey could be yours as well. But let's talk about journalism, Simone. I am very passionate about young people who want to get into the media space. As I said earlier, one of my pieces of advice to people, especially in this field, is to get as much experience outside of Bermuda as possible. I say it all the time. I'm not a journalist. I'm not even an on-air personality. I've produced in the background. I love the business side of it. Teo really made me love the business side when I was, he was my right hand and he was on air. And I would have to write specific contracts for him because he would say some crazy stuff I'd say today. But I love that side. I love being able to sell the talent to people. But you took it a different way. You're a journalist. You love media. What made you want to get into this space, and what would you say to others who want to get into this space?
I would say the biggest reason is community. I'm a really big community person. I love talking to people, learning about different cultures, what makes you you, and how I can translate that onto, an image or, a video or, anything. So one of the things that I did in college, I did documentaries, news stories. One of the documentaries I did is called Hidden No Longer, about the first six African-American women to vote in Huntsville, Alabama, and just hearing the stories of their families, what they had to fight for, and being able to translate that so others could see that and see their resilience and their history. A lot of people didn't know who these women were, and to be able to highlight that and other stories like that really got me excited about journalism itself. And it's almost like family, like getting to know family, and in a sense. So, yeah.
And audience, we'll direct you to that. But if you're into understanding Black history and the politics, and if you know anything about the civil rights era with Dr. King and voting rights in Selma, like that, I call it a documentary piece that Simone did. I would encourage everyone to watch it so we can find a way to share that with you. It's an absolutely brilliant piece of journalism. So thank you for that. And audience, again, if you're interested in seeing it, just let us know in the comments. Whenever we come into media, I always ask people, I wonder, who do you look up to? Who do you emulate? Because truthfully, who you look up to really kind of determines your journey sometimes, right? For instance, I mean, one of the people I admire or admired in as a journalist that I could relate to when I was younger was Glenn Jones. Glenn Jones is the epitome, like he's the top of tops, in my opinion, as a Bermudian journalist. He's going on to do great things outside of Bermuda as a journalist and in the media space. The other person would be Elroy Smith, like people like him. And then Teo. It's interesting. I sent Teo a WhatsApp video, audio this morning, and I want to share this with you. So I said, Teo, I said, you know who doesn't get enough credit? I said, Nikita Robinson. Nikita Robinson's on Magic 102.7 in Bermuda. And I said, I don't think she gets enough credit. She's literally one of the most authentic people Bermuda has ever seen in media. She doesn't change who she is. She is what you get. And it's just a natural energy. And I was like, she's another person to emulate. Like she's just that she's trained. She's got it. Who's some people that you've looked up to? They don't have to be Bermudian, by the way, but you've looked at and said, you know what? I'd like to emulate them or go that path.
Well, I'll give two examples. One, US. Me and my mother used to watch the Good Morning Show a lot. So I would really look up to Robin Roberts. I admired her journalistic style, and she's on a talk show kind of like this. So it's funny how I ended up here. And just how transparent she was with, how she talked to people, and, just her journey in general really inspired me. Another one was, is Media Maya. When I came here and I really started getting into my journalistic journey, I would talk to my friends who were like, who do you listen to? Who do you get all your news from? Or not all, but, most of the stuff. What's engaging for you? And we kind of looked at each other like, Media Maya. So she's another one that I look up to, and I admire her journey, and being able to work with her has been so fun and really encouraging for me, almost like following in her footsteps and then making my own path. So it's been a really amazing just watching all these journalists that I look up to, women journalists, Black journalists. And it just gives me encouragement that I can do this and I can keep going and, really make the world, a better place.
Indeed. Audience, if you have any questions for Simone, please send them through. We'll get through as many questions or comments as possible. Speaking of journalism, what kind of stories do you like to cover?
I would say there was a wide range, but I really like stories based on people and their journeys. For example, the documentary I did, I wanted to delve into the people in the area that I was in. What happened? How can I highlight this person? How can I highlight this place, this business? Making people aware of things that they weren't previously aware of. So that's kind of more of the stories that I like to do. But I also like fun stories, during college, I interned at WJOU radio station, and I started a good news segment, because I felt like during that time, we were recovering from COVID, and I wanted to highlight stories that, made people feel good, that there's still hope in the world, and to brighten their day. Not all news has to be bad and sad, and I want it to be uplifting. So those are some of the kind of stories that, I like to do and I'm interested in.
Lovely. I was thinking this. Charles said it. He says, has Maya moved into auntie status already? I mean, Charles, I was thinking it. I was thinking it. But I'm glad, because I always complimented Maya in find a way to engage younger people in politics and the stories that she was covering. I think she's done an excellent job in doing that, and knowing that young people can inspire others. That's how it should be. I think, it's a space where the Bermudians don't enter because, unfortunately, it hasn't been as rewarding as it should be. But I'm glad to see people like yourself getting into this space. Look, I mentioned Glenn Jones. He's an Emmy winner, which is something that U.S. journalists, achieve when they, are rewarded for their work. What's your ultimate goal? I mean, do you want to be in Bermuda long term? Do you see yourself following maybe a Robin Roberts and working to Good Morning America? Or what do you want to do? Do you want to do radio? Do you want to do print? Do you want to do video?
Mhm. Well, I think I've had the amazing opportunity to kind of delve into a lot of aspects of media. I've done print journalism, TV, radio, and I like them all for different reasons. Um, but one of the things that I'm really focused on right now and growing is video journalism. And I eventually want to have my own site where I do news stories and kind of teach people about different things. I also want to continue doing documentaries. I really love the process and, the work that goes into it and being able to see everything, pan out. And that's kind of the journalistic side of where I see myself. But I also know that life is changing ever all the time. So I'm just here for the journey and doing my best every chance I get and, hoping for the best and working towards the best.
Yeah, indeed. And I like that you said that. It is ever changing. I think there's a debate right now, traditional media versus new media. I think traditional media has the opportunity to be new media as well. Elon Musk has believes that Axis now represents the new media and journalism. Do you feel that, from a personal perspective, are you looking forward to continuing more in the traditional media space, or moving toward new media space? Because you did mention your own site. What do you hope to? I mean, back when I was in school, people would create stories and almost not sell them to media spaces, but kind of right now, if you put something up on your social media platform, it can be used for a news story. So, what do you hope your hopes as it relates to traditional and new media?
I definitely believe that traditional media has its place and it's the foundation for, media in general. However, I do see myself moving towards new media. Even when I was in university, I was saying, okay, I can do this traditional media thing. But I felt like there were so much more opportunities that new media will provide, not only for the listener, but for the person, going out and doing these stories and getting content and sharing them on different platforms. So I definitely feel like new media, a combination of both, will be really important for me and for other people to, kind of look at and focus on and delve into.
Karina has a question. She's asking, how much is AI playing a role in media research for you?
Oh, yeah. AI, it's funny. I took a class on AI, and it's interesting because you have to sift through a lot of different things to get real facts nowadays. And doing that can kind of be hard, but also you can use AI to your advantage sometimes to really get through to like what is the facts and what are not. But it definitely has played a role, and AI changes like every year. So keeping up to date with that really helps in, kind of navigating those murky waters.
Mm-hmm. Simone, how can people reach out to you if they want you to maybe cover a story for them or do some work with them?
Okay, so you can reach out to me on Instagram, SimSocial. And that's where you can find me. That's where I post some of my reels and everything like that. And yeah.
Okay. SimSocial. That's SIM social SOCIAL.
Yeah, sim.social_.
That's easy. Okay. Folks, check her out. Check her out.
Simple.
Thank you so much for this. I want to give you a I think that when Keitha had suggested having you on, I was like, oh, that's a perfect idea. Introduce you to the audience. But Maya and you have been working on some stories, and the response has been awesome. I have really appreciated the response from particularly sponsors and the audience, and as it relates to the stories you've covered. But I think it's important it's not radio. So I think it's important to put a face so that people can actually get to know you. And if they see you, they can embrace you and engage you. And also to build your brand. I say to people all the time, whoever I work with, don't forget about your brand. Your brand is your most important, marketing tool. Sometimes you get to a point in life where you no longer need a reel or a resume. People already know your work. So congratulations on your journey so far. And I think I speak for many when I say we wish you the best and we look forward to growing with you. And
likewise.
Our team. Have a wonderful day. Talk soon.
Thank you.
All right, Simone Vaughn, folks, if you appreciated the conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We're going to take our final break. We'll be back in 2 minutes, 41 seconds. We're going to give away today's prize, so don't go anywhere. $50 gift voucher to People's Pharmacy. And we'll see who gets today's answer correct, too. I said it's easy. Stick with us.
Right. Who was the first woman to become not just the first female opposition leader in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans. Hey, buddy.
Hun, who was the first woman to serve as opposition leader, not just in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Mason, what did you say?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Dame Lewis Brown Evans? Where do you find that?
Mommy playing Bermuda Trivia.
Mommy playing Bermuda Trivia.
Oh, honey, I'm so proud of you. Good job.
It's true. Children are a reflection of their environment. Bermuda's favorite trivia game, fun with a purpose. To educate, to entertain, to inform, to inspire, to learn, and to enjoy. Bermuda Trivia. All volumes now available at various stores throughout Bermuda. Visit BermudaTrivia.com to learn more and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms.
Live exceptionally with HSBC MasterCard Pay with Rewards. Transform your points into what you love and get closer to winning an unforgettable trip to Dubai or one of 3 luxury experiences in Bermuda. To start following these steps, download the Pay and Rewards app from the App Store or Google Play. Register your HSBC MasterCard credit card in the app. Set your preferences to use points automatically or for your next purchase. Use your HSBC MasterCard for every purchase and redeem your points into rewards. In addition, for every $300 spent with your HSBC MasterCard, earn a chance to win an incredible monthly experience. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
All righty, welcome back. Thanks again to Simone Vaughn for stopping by and having a conversation with her. I'm always encouraged to see younger people entering this space. Love to see it. Folks, if you appreciated today's conversation and discussion, please do us a favor, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. Let's give away today's prize, a $50 voucher to People's. And the email that came up was hasslenicole@yahoo.com. So hasslenicole@yahoo.com. You have 24 hours, 23, to send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com to collect your prize. All right. So Hassle Nicole, that your email starts with Hassle Nicole. Please send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com. You've got until 7 a.m. tomorrow to send an email. All right. Okay. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, here you go. Here's your question. Who's going to join Karen Simmons in the draw? Here we go. Oops, not that. What Christmas comedy movie featured two bad guys known as the Wet Bandits? Mark Arthur C. Phillips showed up first on our screen. Home Alone. Yeah, it's Home Alone. Everyone got it. I mean, David Michael Wilson, you got it. Let me just see something. I want to see what shows up. You got it. See something. Hold on 2 seconds. See something. See. Okay, yeah. Mark Arthur C. Phillips, David Michael Wilson, Stacey Brown, Karen Simmons. Everyone got it. Even everyone on Facebook, Kathy Rogers, Nika Shields. So here's the thing about Home Alone I want to say, though, real quickly. I said this the other day. I feel like every year, and I've watched it about 4 times so far this year, but every year, I feel like I realize how much stupider Marv and Harry were. Like, they were like the stupidest bandits ever. But anyway, enough about them. But congratulations. We'll add Mark Arthur C. Phillips to the this week's draw with Karen Simmons. So congratulations to you. I want to wrap it up in saying this here, right? As far as immigration and people, Bermudians leaving Bermuda, again, I've heard different reasons. I don't think there's, one reason people leave. I think some reasons are more, I guess, popular, more common as to why people will leave. But I think it'll be important to delve down in terms of why are people leaving. And I think once we figure that out, we can attract the best, brightest back home. It's bigger than politics. It is. As far as the conversation with Simone, I absolutely think she has a bright future ahead. And it's not, for me, when it comes, Sir Alex Ferguson once said regarding the Fergus Fledgins, which they called him in 92, 93. He said if they're old enough, they're good enough when it came to young football players. And I feel like that in life. If someone's old, there was a debate on Twitter the other day about one person arguing for young players to get a chance in Bermuda's national football setup, and the other person saying, oh, they need to wait their turn. The other players they can still learn from. And I don't disagree. I will say this, and very clearly to anyone that's going to listen, do not dismiss your elders. Even during our conscription fight, I never dismissed people because of their age. I never dismissed people because of their generation. The reason I never did that is because I understand that I don't live in an echo chamber, and not everyone in my generation or my age thinks like me, and I don't think like them. Biggest example of that, the US general election. Young people voted for Donald Trump. Stop thinking that young people will feel a certain way. So it's important to stop thinking that all older people think a certain way. Learn from each other. Grow from each other. Be humble as you grow. None of us know it all, no matter if you've been doing it for 2 years or 20. I love to see young people succeed. I love to see people succeed. And I think I am happy with the reception and the response that you all have given to Simone. I absolutely adore the fact that she's got the opportunity to work with Maya, 2 young women working together in a space that has been dominated by non-Bermudians in Bermuda. I love that. And I want to see more of it. And as long as I exist, I'll do my best to continue to create opportunities for them to exist and prosper. All right, daily inspiration. I don't have one for you. I'm going to leave you with this. If you're able create opportunities for people. But to do so, you must first be able to do so. Leave you with that. That means don't overpromise and underdeliver in layman terms. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.